Hi YouTube, it's Darkon633 and today I'm bringing a review of the Transformers Age of Extinction Generations Voyager class Slog. Now, as big Transformers fans as know, they know that the character is actually named Sludge, but due to licensing and other things, obviously they had to change the name to something, so I guess they decided to go with Slog. Overall, the design is really awesome. I really like Brontosaurus. It's actually one of my more favorite dinosaurs altogether. I like the design that it's got a very bonish kind of design all throughout its body, all the way down to its spine pieces here, which are made of a very soft material that can get warped over time, which is kind of annoying, but still really cool regardless. He also comes with these two cool lance kind of weapons, going on again with the night motif the other Dinobots have been going for. But before we go with that, we're going to take a quick look at the box. On the box, we have nice shot of Slog here. Obviously, he didn't appear in the movie, unfortunately, but it's still really cool. It's got a slight movie rendering. It's almost cartoonish slightly, but it's very cool renderation of him. Transformers 4. On the back, we got some information which pretty much says, Slog is low on brain power, even by Dinobot standards. He's slow, lumbering, and absolutely gigantic. When you're that big, most problems get stamped out pretty quickly, sometimes before you even know they're there. But what Slog lacks in brains, he makes up for in brawn. Anything he tramples snaps under his mass feet. The Dinobots know that he can clear a path through an enemy line as they point him in the right direction first. And obviously here at the side it shows that Autobot Drip, that's helicopter, is also available, which is just a remold / repaint of Skyhammer from Dark of the Moon. But yeah. Pretty cool regardless. Anyways, in this mode, he's got some points of articulation. His legs can have full movement, which runs 360 there. Things kind of get hindered thanks to the spine pieces. Can go in and out just a tad bit. Bend at the knee all the way. Due to transformation, it kind of extends out, but that's also due to transformation. His legs on the back, well, the way that they design is just pretty much stable. It doesn't really do anything. You can kind of move the feet if you're quickly. Yeah, you can. Just that bit. But other than that, the way that everything's connected in the back, there isn't much you can do articulation-wise in the back there. It's also got the ability to open his mouth, which is cool for the Dinobots, and due to transformation as well, if not for the weird type of problem there. Can bend all the way down like that, and so on and so forth, and can turn up here, and his head can pivot, so it's got very nice range of movement in the neck. So that's pretty cool. Transformation-wise, it's actually quite simple, but also quite intriguing. First, you're going to have to open the tail, so it allows a little bit of an opening there. You're going to open the spine piece, which frees everything, so now you got this so far. And then, what you're going to do is, it's a little tricky here. What you're first going to do is pull this flap up, and make sure that the neck bends all the way down, like so. It just kind of sits there for now. Now, as you can see here, kind of see inside his head for his roll mode's already there, and you kind of have to move things around in order to get everything into secure. Next, what you got to do is turn these leg pieces around so that they face outward like this. So you got something like that. Now what you're going to do next is turn these pieces around like so. Then you're going to open these flaps up on both sides. So it just opens up like that on both sides. Push these pieces down. Pull out the little red pieces inside the knee joints there on both sides. This will go over the leg in robot mode, but it's kind of tight in there, so you're going to have to play around with it before you can take it out. Next, pull out the feet, both sides. So now it looks like that. Then, this is where you're going to have to play around in order to get everything secure. Pull this piece out since it's extended back in again. And basically what's going to happen is that these pieces are going to snap into place right there on both sides of the legs. So now you got the full pretty much leg component pretty much finished. Here you technically just take these little red bits here on both sides. It's going to peg into this little side panel here, so Well, it's panel, but this little peg that's sticking out inside there. So just kind of... let's get it done. It just kind of sits into place. It doesn't sit too securely, but it should peg in like that. Sure you do to both sides. A little bit of movement can get this out of place, so just keep that in mind. Okay, it just kind of sits in there. So now I got the full leg almost done. Now what you're going to do is pull these pieces here. They form around and become some kind of guard in the front there. Then you're going to push this down, so now you got the top part of his body done. And here's where it gets kind of difficult at times. What you're going to do is pull this piece here back, but at the same time pulling this outward just a tad bit, so it's a little tight, mind, so it could be quite tricky due to how tight components are, so you free everything there. And it bends down once there's enough clearance inside. So now you got almost entire robot mode in the front. Kind of extend this down. Push these back into place, which you need to play around with it in order to get it correctly. Let's just push the abdomen piece down again. So I almost got Slog completely in his robot mode. You kind of need to just pull this up. It kind of just sits there. So this part doesn't really do anything. It just kind of sits in the back and lays back a bit. And then, once you get everything into place, what you're going to do next is, technically, you just pull these pieces outward. Then you pull out the hand. So now it becomes some kind of arm gauntlet pieces on the side. So that's pretty much it for Slog in robot mode. Now his robot is a very nice design. I really like how they designed the robot overall. And I really enjoyed the whole night motif that all the Dinobots have been giving us. With this, only Snarl is left, so it's going to be nice to finally get all the Dinobots in the toy line. And what's cool here is that these pieces actually, when it's packaged in the box, these pieces actually come off. They're actually attached on his shoulders, like shoulder cannons, so I'm just going to quickly put that on. Just kind of plugged them into these red bits and it became like these shoulder cannons. That was pretty much how it was packaged in the box. So, pretty cool otherwise. Now these lance pieces, which look really nice, just peg kind of doesn't fit in all the way, it just kind of slides in just enough so that he can hold it, and it is enough so that it doesn't fall out, so it's pretty cool. So it's got the knight lance motif, similar to Strafe in a sense, since he also had the little lances, but it was a combination of the lance and the bow, while these are just straight out lances. So pretty cool design. I really like it. In this mode, his articulation is much better than his beast mode for obvious reasons, since a lot of the pieces that formed into his beast mode made it so that he wasn't so articulated. But now in this mode, he's got a waist joint. Can technically go 360, but a lot of pieces kind of get in the way, so not as much. His head can turn. It's really tight. It's not a ball joint. Yeah, it's not a ball joint, but it's really tight, so it only has about... but he's got a lot of good head pivot up movement, though. His arms can do a 360. Bend at the elbow. I'll bend at the shoulder first. He can bend at the elbow, but he's got the gorilla-style body, so that I don't like. And his hands can't do anything otherwise up there. So it's got a pretty good movement up there. His legs can also kind of bend outward, like so, but due to these little side skirt pieces, it gets hindered quite a bit. It's got a knee joint that bends a little, just a tad bit less than 90 degrees, just the way that it's molded. Can't go full 90 degrees. His legs can turn as well. His feet can bend outward and like this due to transformation. And that's pretty much it otherwise for his articulation points. So overall, a really nice figure, and I really enjoy Slog's design. Now I'm going to transfer him back to beast mode off screen, since just to cut time for the video and so on.
Now we're
So
back.
Now, Slog is definitely one of the better designed Dinobots overall in both Beast Mode and his Roam Mode. I really liked the night motif, as stated before in the other Dinobot videos. I really liked how his overall design is, and I really like the whole lance and altogether just the design of the body in general. I have a few nitpicks which I didn't mention during transformation originally, and a few things is that because of the way that his body is designed, it doesn't really peg into place, so there are loose parts all over the place that may get a little fall apart just a bit when you're playing around with it, which you actually saw earlier in the video when I just started transforming him. But besides the little problems aside, and the fact that a lot of his body's made of this very soft material, which I'm afraid might break down over the years, it's still a really nice toy overall, and I really like what it has to, pretty much all the play value it has. One more thing I forgot to mention is that these lance pieces can actually fit on the sides here. So now he's got, I guess, an armored kind of lance brachio, which looks slightly goofy, but at the same time, it's got a pretty cool charm to it. But overall, Slog is definitely one of the better on Dinobots. I kind of prefer it more than some of the other Dinobots, especially those of both. Well, just pretty much most of the Dinobots were pretty nice design, but there were a few of them I just didn't like too much. Which, like, oh yeah, that's right, like Slash. He's cool, but just doesn't have as much good feel as both some Slog and a few others. Like, I really like how Strafe was designed, both transformation, all that. While simplistic, it was still a pretty good toy overall. But anyways, it's really nice, and it's definitely worthwhile if you find them in stores or online. Anyways, please check out Hero Taku, the associated podcast, Hero News, Hero Talk, and WRW. Also check out Rajio Nihon and the other channels down below. And please comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on YouTube. Bye.